Welcome to another wonderful edition of Chumming with the Spirits Whack Wednesdays. Coming at you live from
the haunted location.
So, the whack story we wanted to talk to you tonight about was, I would say, I don't think many people know about this.
No, I hadn't heard of it either.
Yeah.
It's an interesting story.
It is very interesting, and we'll delve into why I'm wrong about everything.
Or mostly.
But it's the story of the Mad Gasser of Mattoon. Should I just go ahead and read the story?
Yeah, it's pretty short, so people understand what we're going to talk, why we're going to discuss it. I think is going to be interesting for.
So, on September 6th, 1944, 8 Illinois citizens experienced the paralyzing effects of the phantom prowler known as the Mad Gasser of Mattoon. For 2 weeks, this shadowy assailant lurked beneath bedroom windows, mysteriously injecting a nauseous odor into homes, leaving inhabitants with faces swollen and burning with pain, violently vomiting, and immobile for between 30 and 90 minutes. Urban Rael, one of the first victims, awoke with agonizing nausea, rushing to the bathroom while calling to his wife about gas fumes. Mrs. Rael attempted to arise to check on the pilot light in her stove, but found herself unable to move. Mrs. B. Carney noticed an overpowering flowery fragrance filling her bedroom just before a jolt of electricity shocked her body, rendering her paralyzed and screaming. Neighbors came running. 2 hours later, her husband, a taxi driver, arrived home, noticed someone skulking by the house, and gave chase. But he couldn't catch the person. A few days later, Beulah Cords discovered a vapor-soaked cloth on her front porch and unwisely sniffed it, swiftly becoming overwhelmed. A skeleton key and empty lipstick tube were discovered nearby. As the police were interviewing Cords, the gasser struck again. One of the victims found a woman's footprint beneath her window. Nearly 30 people were targeted in total. Everyone who saw the gasser described him as a tall, dark individual
with a mask,
dressed and wearing a tight-fitting cap. Armed citizens stalked the streets in search of the sinister suspect. The FBI, even the Department of Safety crime specialists were called in. But in the end, the incidents were dismissed as a case of mass hysteria. Similar Mad Gasser incidents had taken place in Botetourt County, Virginia, 10 years earlier, when approximately 20 people suffered the same symptoms arising from a sickly sweet smell injected into their homes.
So when did all this happen?
World War II.
So when, and now, but what year?
1944 and 1934.
And then, what was it, 1937 was when they started using odors in natural gas. Because before this,
Yes. So that was my assumption, was that maybe they were experiencing hallucinations because of a natural gas leak. But then you were saying that it would smell like buttholes and not water.
Yeah, sulfur. And that's... So there's...
wasn't there, people?
It is interesting that it is happening right around World War time. Chemical warfare is a real thing. The other weird thing to me was like they thought maybe it was motivated by money. No money was ever stolen.
Sweet. Okay.
The deal on the porch, I read an article about that. They think it was for the dog. The
lipstick?
No, the bottle that had the rag in it that she smelled.
Yeah.
They had a dog that liked to lay on the front porch. So they thought that they probably put it there
to target the dog,
to knock the dog out, and then target the house, where they were pumping fumes into the room.
So I wonder if, so two things that pop into mind are, I wonder if anybody has ever done any correlation to the victims and seen if they have a common thread. As
roughly 20 people overall. What makes me wonder is because it was deemed mass
hysteria,
psyops. Yeah, because they
That's-
actually have physical evidence of stuff, but they're saying, oh, everybody was just making it up.
Well, it makes you really wonder because they were called in, the FBI. They may have been called in on purpose just to tell people, don't worry.
Because it sounds to me that somebody was trying to figure out how much gas do you need in a room to why am I drawing incapacitate somebody without killing them?
So, didn't they used to have? I remember reading about this, and I don't remember what time period it was. They would drive trucks down streets and spray like a fog.
Mm.
I don't remember what it was for.
Mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes. They could be like a similar situation, like maybe that wasn't mosquito repellent
Could have been.
type of thing.
Yeah, and well, like I said, it was a flowery smell. Some people reacted violently and thrown up. Other people would get paralyzed. So it's almost, and not everybody reacted the same way. Some people had swelling in the face. Some people, and that, so it makes me wonder if it almost sounds like somebody testing to see if they're not taking money from the house and it's incapacitating people. What was their alternative motive? It's not money. I mean, you could go a dark way and think maybe they were trying to incapacitate people for nefarious things to do to them.
Reception.
Yeah, that's trying to allude to that. But one of the theories is they saw a female footprint outside one of the windows.
Yeah.
And one of the theories was it was actually a female dressed like a man to throw people off so they could get away. Well, then that's rare that'd be a sexual style deal. One of the houses had a large sum of money in it that they were seen counting, and they went to bed, but that money didn't disappear.
The whole thing that's throwing me off is the skin tight black suit and cap. Like, what are your opinions on?
Yeah, you wear that so you can hide in a bush and not be seen.
But you would think that would make noise, like rubbing together.
No, you'd be surprised.
Hmm.
Wool's pretty tough. Now, keep in mind we're talking this.
I'm thinking like latex.
Yeah, no, this is pre spandex and all that. It would have been a wool cap or linen or something. It would have been quiet. And like you said, since they didn't steal anything, people weren't assaulted, but they had such a variety of effects from swollen to swollen faces to vomiting
to burning
to paralyzation, almost. And it was over so many different groups of people. It almost seems like a test run for a drug, which the government had done later on.
But why wouldn't they just do that in a laboratory setting behind closed doors?
Because you need to see the variability on regular people. The CIA did.
Clinical trials. You can just tell them, hey, we're tested a new hairspray.
And why did the CIA do that with LSD and prostitutes? And because you need a real world scenario. If you make it clinical,
you need controls. Yeah.
If you make it too controlled, you may not be able to repeat it in the real world. Put it in the real world in a very small area that's secluded. You could test. I mean, the Muskogee event with syphilis. It's not. The government has done these things. Yeah. I mean, there's a ton of stuff that, I hate to say it, but yeah, we don't have a good track record of when it comes to this sort of stuff. And then you have the FBI coming out and going, oh, these 20 people, it's mass hysteria. And like, okay, wait a minute. You found physical evidence of a bottle. You have footprints. You have multiple people saying, hey, we saw somebody outside in the bushes. I couldn't catch them.
When you have to clinically diagnose the symptoms, too. Mm-hmm. That's the weird.
But it was early enough for them not to be able to figure out what type of gas it was. That's what I'm leading to as a wax story that got buried because I hadn't heard of this. And they had said, 10 years earlier, that very similar effects. Now, 10 years earlier could have been natural gas. because they wouldn't have had any odors in that.
So yeah, it would have been 1934.
Yeah, 37 is when the big event in England happened. They killed over 300 some people because of natural gas leaks.
They wouldn't have smelled flowers or anything.
But so we don't have that event from 10 years ago and what they actually smelled. They just knew that they were having adverse effects.
Yeah, that's right.
This one was documented that they were smelling something flowery. My guess, they were doing that so it wouldn't alarm somebody, because it's a pleasant fragrance, and
that makes sense.
Or to hide it having a bad fragrance, and they put a flowery smell on it so you will breathe it. Because a lot of people like ammonia will burn
Oh yeah,
really quick.
Urea.
The fume, yeah, but the minute it starts burning it's such at a low level, it's not dangerous. By the time your eyes are watering and you can barely stand it, you're still only at a quarter of what the level is to be dangerous.
Yeah.
So
you start going.
Yeah. Once it's displaced the oxygen in the area. That's what I'm saying is, like, if they give it a good enough smell to overcome whatever the initial smell is, by the time you realize it could be too late, and then you're either convulsing. To me, I think they were figuring out that some people get incapacitated and be up to 90 minutes. Other people were throwing up, so they were having an allergic reaction to something.
Well, and it could also be that it was different formulations.
Yes, they could be trying to refine it to figure out how to get a chemical weapon that could be thrown in to incapacitate people, that they can go in and then take them. And because if you're trying to do a high profile kidnapping or targeting generals and that, you want them to still be alive.
Mm-hmm.
Mustard gas isn't very good to do.
So one of the chemicals that I use in testing in my lab,
Your meth lab?
It's very pungent and very not good for you, nauseous. It's called propionaldehyde. And to me,
Can you spell it? No, I'm just kidding.
You want me to?
No, I know. Your OCD will.
It has a very, very pungent floral smell to it. It's a good smell, but you should.
Nah, it's not.
So, yeah, that
lead.
Yeah.
Lead has a sweet taste to it. There's a reason why a lot of things were made with lead until you realize it. Yeah. Until you realize it's building up your immune system.
Stock in Sherwin-Williams when I was a kid. The paint chips. So, let us know what you think.
Leave in the comments if you've heard of this or something similar. Are we just whack? Or is it just a whack story?
And we're going to leave you with a quote from Desiderius Erasmus from this entry. Reflection is a flower of the mind, giving out wholesome fragrance, but revelry is the same flower when rank and running to seed. Don't ask me what any of that shit means.
It's in the book.
It's in the book. So until next time.
Be safe.
Keep it whack.
Bye.